following is a presentation of Main Street Media, your source for news, sports, and information on Main Street in Middle Tennessee. All right, we made it to a Friday here on Main Street Sports. Today on the program, our weekly visit with the Sounds play-by-play man, Jeff Him, will join us as they get ready for their weekend continuation of the series with Norfolk. Also, our daily Braves segment. We'll talk a little Nashville Predators. Oh, tough one last night, an overtime loss. Connor Ingram played well. Was it well enough? Grizzlies head west for Game 3 over the weekend. We'll preview that. Plus, we'll preview other things over the weekend. I've got a sneaky good show, Chris, that I want to tell you about that you should be watching over the weekend. Started last night. So, yeah. All that coming up on this. Yeah, Friday edition. Main Street Sports today. Our final edition without our Hall of Famer Mo Patton, who will be returning from his vacation on Monday. Let's get it on Friday. Chris, how are you, sir?
Yeah, let's do it. Man, I'm doing well. It's interesting, being back in the studio without George and
by yourself today.
Yeah, it was fun though. I'm all a little lonesome here in the studio. That's okay. Appreciate you guys hanging out with us all week, and obviously powering through without the Hall of Famer. It's been a long week, but we've made it. Week, 1 day and 1/2 show. We got in the first half on Thursday.
There we go.
But
yep.
glad that he's had a good trip, even though someone yelled "Roll Tide" to him while he was wearing his Braves cap today.
Oh no! Yeah. What is that? Roll Tide in the Braves. What does it have to do? Just because they have the same age, just without the curl?
It's just similar. Hey, well, it's funny. I have a buddy who wrote a line in one of his songs that says, "I hate the way they yell Roll Tide when I got a Braves cap on my head."
Yeah.
And the song is "I Hate Alabama."
Yeah, Casey Patrick talks about that when he wears his Braves hat, he says not an Alabama hat because he's a Tennessee fan. It's not an Alabama hat because it doesn't have the rat tail or the mullet. Yeah, whatever they call it.
Yeah, exactly. It's clearly not an Alabama. Hey, I don't know how you get those mixed up, but anyway, got a good show as JP laid out for you. Our top story today comes from the National Football League. The opening kick. Dan Ventrell is out as president of the Las Vegas Raiders. Mark Davis announced on Friday, quote, this is his statement. Dan Ventrell is no longer with the Raiders organization. We will have no further comment at this time. End quote.
Okay. Short and sweet and to the point.
Yeah. So apparently Ventrell was the interim after Mark Badain's resignation. And then he was named full-time, and now he's not full-time. So Jeremy Aguero also on Thursday resigned as Raiders chief operations and analytics officer. So I don't know what
turmoil.
What's
Something's
up
going on.
What did I say? What was it? 3-4 months ago? Yeah. The Las Vegas experiment is
it's wearing on those out there.
It's struggling. Look, I mean, I don't pretend to know, to steal a line from George, I don't pretend to know what's going on out there, but I can tell you this. It's Las Vegas, and I've got a pretty good idea.
You put 2 and 2 together, right? Most of the time
sometimes
it equals 4.
Sometimes JP, and when I put 2 and 2 together, it comes out 5.
Yeah,
I read into things a little bit too much sometimes, but
you don't
honestly,
think this is not one of those times.
I mean, let's be honest here. It's Vegas. They've not had a great track. First of all, they're the Raiders, okay? And Oakland was bad enough.
That's right.
You put them in Vegas, and what did you expect? I mean, you could have put any other team in Vegas, and it probably is okay.
Do you think it's Vegas, or do you think it's the Davis regime?
I think it's both. That's what I'm saying.
They're not mutually exclusive. You're saying?
No, I mean, I think the Vegas experiment probably goes a little bit better if you have anybody except the Cowboys or the Raiders there.
Those
and maybe Dan Snyder.
Yeah, that's true.
Just leave Dan Snyder out of it. But other than that, I mean, maybe here's what they should do.
Yeah.
When whoever buys the Broncos, because apparently Magic Johnson and the guy who owns the 76ers
are a random pairing.
Right. East Coast, West Coast. Yeah, let's meet at the Rockies and buy a football team because we love basketball.
They have a history, but it just seems like a weird pairing.
It does. But perhaps they should just take the Broncos, move that franchise to Vegas, and move the Vegas franchise to Denver.
Oh. Yeah, those fan bases.
I'm just saying.
Would love that, especially in Denver.
I'm just saying it could potentially be a better option. I don't know. The Vegas experiment's not working out right now, so that's neither here nor there. Anyway, that just again, I asked the question once again, and we will continue to get answers over time. Is the Vegas experiment in the National Football League working? As of now, it's not got a great track record. That's all I'm saying. All right,
although
JP,
the Golden Knights are doing okay.
It's hockey, man.
So this is a Raiders thing, not a Vegas.
I think it's a Raiders thing.
Okay, all right.
I really do.
I do too. I think it's the organization.
Anyway, we don't have a super. It's not okay. This is a much shorter than normal weekend rundown, JP.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to go ahead and send it to you and let you give us yesterday's results and today's schedule, as well as the rest of the weekend schedule.
The Friday Rundown is brought to you by Chip Walters of Exit Realty, Bob Lamb & Associates. The voice of the Blue Raiders also wants to be your trusted advisor in real estate. Contact Chip at 615-542-1915 or through his website at choosechip.net. Chip Walters, proud to support local youth sports in southern Middle Tennessee.
All right, scores from Thursday, high school baseball. Gallatin, 6-2 winners over McGavock. It was Hendersonville, 13-3 over Hunters Lane. Hillsboro defeated Maplewood, 16-2. Hume Fog shutting out Glencliff 10-0. Marshall County 7-1 winners over Lawrence County. Cane Ridge shut out by Stewart's Creek 16-0. It was Summertown shutting out Mount Pleasant 7-0. Tullahoma 4-1 winners over Spring Hill. Zion Christian 13-5 winners over the Tennessee Heat. Softball from yesterday, Good Pasture 8-5 over Friendship Christian, and Zion Christian 3-0 over South Haven Christian. Boys soccer on the pitch yesterday was Columbia 3-1 over CPA. Harpeth 4-1 over East Hickman. Hendersonville 7-2 winners over Gallatin. Smyrna falls to Laverne 3-2. Page shutting out Lincoln County 8-0, and Merrill Hyde eking by White House 3-2. College baseball last night. Number one team in the country goes down in 13 innings. I actually caught the last 3 innings of that. I had it on my second TV, Chris, while I was watching the Preds last night. Kentucky with a walk-off in the bottom of the 13th, 13-2 the final in that first game of 3 this weekend. Georgetown College over Cumberland yesterday, 9-6 the final there. Softball, Lipscomb took a pair from Bellarmine, 6-0, 7-6. And it was the Sounds last night in 10 innings. Extra work for Jeff Him, who will be joining us next, but it was worth it because the Sounds got a win. You will actually be in the park tonight.
I got all my gear on, too.
That. Yep. Yesterday's results in college softball was Trebek with a pair of wins over Tiffin and Hillsdale. As we mentioned yesterday, this is in the Great Midwest Conference Tournament. Got those in early yesterday. On the slate for this Friday, weather permitting, of course, as always. Independence, Nolensville, 4:30. Oakland hosting Rockville, also at 4:30. Laverne and Cane Ridge, a 4:30 start as well. At 6 tonight in high school baseball, Cookeville is at Wilson Central. Clarksville Northwest at Dixon County at 6:30. Also at 6:30, Kenwood at Henry County. Smyrna's at Stewart's Creek at 7. Columbia at Summit at 7. Blackman hosting Siegel also at 7. The Division II-A Middle Region Tournament is underway, and it'll be University School of Nashville and Good Pasture. Nashville Christian taking on Grace Christian Franklin. Franklin Road Academy and Clarksville Academy, and Davidson Academy and Columbia Academy, as postseason is beginning in Division II. High school softball today at 5 o'clock. A pair of games, Laverne at Cane Ridge, DCA, Columbia Academy. At 6, Joe Burns welcomes Russellville from Kentucky. At 7 tonight, it is Summertown hosting Mount Pleasant. Smyrna versus Antioch at 7, and at 7:30, Eagleville and Cornersville. And also today, it will be BGA Nashville Christian Winter taking on Friendship Christian as Division II softball postseason also underway. On the pitch this afternoon, Lawrence County's at Murfreesboro Central Magnet, 5 o'clock first touch. At 6, Fayetteville hosts Colioca. And at 7 tonight, it is MBA traveling to Murfreesboro to take on the Patriots of Oakland. Saturday baseball in high school, Gallatin at Beach at 11 a.m., Overton hosting Hillsboro at noon, Hendersonville and Station Camp at 2, and Franklin at Brentwood at 2:30. And, of course, the D2A Middle Region tournaments will continue over the weekend. Softball, 11 a.m. tomorrow, Riverdale and Rockville, 1 o'clock, Blackman and Oakland. Weekend series for baseball, Tennessee, Kentucky continue tonight and tomorrow. As we mentioned, Kentucky winning game 1. Vanderbilt is at Georgia, start a 3-game set today. Other series include MTSU and FIU, Lipscomb hosting Bellarmine, Belmont at UT Martin, Austin P welcomes Murray State. The NAIA Great Midwest Conference Tournament tomorrow, Cumberland against a to-be-determined opponent at 7 o'clock.
Bethel Freed loser.
I gotcha. Okay. TCCAA Region 7 Tournament down in Chattanooga. This is JUCO baseball, Southwest Tennessee State and Vol State. That'll be on Sunday. College softball over the weekend, Tennessee and Auburn have a series. MTSU's at Western Kentucky. SEMO hosts Belmont. UT Martin is at Tennessee State, and SIU Edwardsville travels to Austin P over the weekend. There we go. Got some more music going. Friday, Bellarmine is at Lipscomb, and Sunday, Columbia State at Walter State, or versus Walter State in their tournament as well. That's down in Chattanooga, those college softball weekend schedule. The Braves begin a 3-game weekend series at home versus the Brew Crew from Milwaukee tonight, 6:20 first pitch. And we've got, Saturday at 6:20, Sunday at 12:35, Chavez.
Yeah, Jesse Chavez.
Chavez. That's a hard CH there for the Braves. Lauer versus for the Brewers. Freed set to go on Saturday, and Morton on Sunday for the Bravos. The Sounds continue their series with Norfolk tonight and tomorrow, 6:35 first pitch, Sunday at 2:05. NHL, the Preds, Game 3, Saturday, back in Smashville on TNT, but Colorado does lead that series 2 games to none, the best of 7. 3:30 is the puck drop. Preds need a big one, I assume. We'll talk about it. Ingram will probably stay in the net. Saturday night, 7:30, ABC, Game 3, the Grizzlies out in San Francisco to take on the Warriors. 7:30, the start time. This series tied at 1 game apiece. And MLS, Real Salt Lake is in the Music City to take on Nashville, 4 o'clock on Sunday. You can watch that on My TV 30, or you can maybe get a ticket, head out to the fairgrounds. May be difficult. It's a popular thing to do. That is your Friday Rundown, brought to you by Chip Walters. Choose chip.net.
Great job, JP.
Yeah, we tried.
Let's talk to Jeff Him on the other side of a break. Big news out of the International League this week. So we'll talk to him about that and what to expect this weekend and beginning of next week. So stick around. Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint, is back after this. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50-plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, ZionEagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's ZionEagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck yes, that'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in Tennessee, because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Murray County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
This is Zach Womble with your Sumner County Sports Update. Coming up this week, we've got every single district tournament action you could hope for as baseball, softball, and soccer gets set to gear up to play. Make sure you're tuning in to Main Street Preps to check out the latest episode of the Sumner County Sports Podcast. For Main Street Preps, this is Zach Womble.
I knew it wasn't quite halftime yet, JP.
No, not quite. Are you standing up?
No, I just moved my camera down so you could see my awesome
So you
sound
can see
shirt.
The shirt. I got you. Yeah,
I got this cool shirt last week. It was on the clearance rack, but it's really nice and soft, and it matches my hat with the home plate, the TriStar home plate. So
I love that logo, the home plate with the TriStar, and they've got it skewed properly.
You like a logo that has a TriStar in it?
Oh,
I cannot
stop
imagine.
it! I know. Yeah, you can't imagine it. You know, if I were to ever get a tattoo, and I might one day,
That's what it would be.
that's probably the first thing it would be, because it sure as hell wouldn't be a Vanderbilt logo, because I don't know which one to get.
Well,
It change all the time. It can't
have a star in it.
No. Oh, don't get me started. It's a Friday. We're supposed to have fun.
Oh man, welcome back in. It is Main Street Sports today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint, and the Nashville Sounds are at First Horizon Park this weekend, as JP just told you in the rundown. 6:35 first pitch tonight and tomorrow, hopefully, so long as the rain holds off tonight. I think it's going to. And then the 2:35 first pitch on Sunday, which is perfect for families who have youngsters like myself who need to get back home before 7 o'clock so they can get their kids into bed by bedtime.
That's right.
It's the perfect day. So
Yeah.
got to do that while you can, because it doesn't, I think they stopped that, I guess, late June. They'll stop the 2 o'clock or 2:30 first pitches. But anyway,
gets a little warm.
it does get a little
Yeah,
warm,
I
no
think,
doubt.
I think the weather is the reason for that. Yeah.
No question.
A little hot.
We are excited to be joined, as always, on Friday by the voice of the Nashville Sounds, Jeff Him, who comes to us now on the show. Jeff, what's going on, man? How are you?
Doing well, guys. How are you?
Fantastic.
Not bad. It's been a heck of a Friday already.
Well, that just means you need Saturday to come a little faster.
Well, I mean, I'm looking forward to tonight being out at the ballpark, Jeff. The Main Street media folks will be in attendance on the Vanderbilt porch, so make sure to shout us out. So it's going to be exciting.
That's good to have you here. I don't know why my video's not working, but with a face like this, it's probably all for the best.
It's all right.
We understand.
You sound really good, Jeff.
Yeah.
It tells me my camera is on. I don't know. They must know more than me. Somewhere in the technology world, and this face for radio should stay that way.
Why don't you turn that camera off, and we'll see if we can just use the audio, see if that works.
Yeah.
All right, let's
go.
try that.
Yeah,
Technology's a heck of a thing when it works. Jeff, Ethan Small on the bump tonight. As far last I checked, Ethan Small is on the bump tonight.
Yes,
bringing his 2-0 record and 0.77 ERA and his International League Pitcher of the Week award.
Pitcher of the month.
Pitcher of the month.
Yeah,
you're right. Exactly. So big award for Ethan, and should be a quick night. Hopefully, if you are a Sounds fan with Ethan Small pitching.
Well, and he's a relatively local guy, and a lot of people know some of his background. But again, he's from Jackson, went to Mississippi State. Now he resides in Spring Hill, so he's a Middle Tennessee resident. And so there's the fun local component in addition to, obviously, he's a tremendous pitcher as well. You know, the scary thing is he's been really frustrated with a lot of his outings so far this year. And again, you gave the numbers. He's got a .77 ERA. He's been frustrated by some of the walk totals. His stuff is so good that he's still been able to make mostly great pitches when he really needs to, and the walks have not turned into runs. But I can promise you that the walks are still bothering him. He's had a total of 16 of them in 23 1/3. So he does not love that ratio. But again, wouldn't a lot of pitchers love to have a .77 ERA if that was also their walk total? It just speaks to how nasty his stuff is and how good he is and how scary good he's going to be when he navigates the walk totals a little bit. And they kind of come and go. I mean, he's had I think we talked a couple of weeks ago right after he had pitched in Gwinnett, and he walked his first 2 batters and then retired 13 in a row. So he has these little moments where he just kind of loses it a little bit, just enough against a couple of hitters to walk a couple of guys. But then it's like 85-90% of the outing, you're thinking, how could anybody ever get hits on this guy? So he's close. I know he's frustrated by that one particular stat, but overall, I know he's also very pleased with a lot of things about his start to the year. He's just one of several guys on this staff with an ERA around or under 1. They continue to lead all the minor leagues in team ERA. So it's been a group effort, and Ethan is so fun to watch. It's fun to watch a guy dominate, even though he doesn't throw 98, 99 miles an hour. He's in the low toward mid-90s, but his changeup is so good. And I think some of the walk total is coming from he's still tweaking and trying to refine his slider. So that's where some of that is coming from. But his changeup is so good. I mean, he's had these runs where almost 2, sometimes 3 batters in a row don't even see a fastball. And they're just swinging and missing because the changeup is that good. So it's pretty scary if you're a hitter what this looks like when the walks go down but nothing else changes, because then it'll be real tough.
Yeah, you're exactly right. This is a guy who is still incredibly young and is finding his way already in AAA after being just sensational on every level to this point. So I'm looking forward to seeing him. Obviously, I saw him in his debut last year. That was a lot of fun. This week, you guys dropped the series opener, and apparently, just like Michael Jordan, took that personally and got a couple of wins, but have scored 4 runs in all 3 games so far. So if you're a betting man, bet on 4 tonight, I guess.
Yeah, the offense has had just enough in a lot of these games. Last night was a walk-off win. The pitching has been dominant for the most part. The defense has been tremendous, and the offense is just not. Up and down is misleading. It's not like they have these stretches where they can't score. I mean, the team is 18-8. They're doing a lot of things right offensively. But when you got 9 guys in a lineup, it's hard to have all 9 firing on all cylinders. There have been plenty of games where it's felt like that has happened. But there are a few guys, I think, who are still really trying to get on a prolonged hot streak. Several guys have already found that. Bryce Terang is one. Mark Mathias has been tremendous lately. Weston Wilson having a really solid first month of the year. We've seen some power, prodigious power, not surprisingly, from guys like John Singleton. So there's a lot to like from the offense. I think there are a few guys who individually are trying to get it going a little bit more. But as a group, it's an offense that gets big hits. They're hitting a ton of balls hard, and they're more times than not scoring more than enough runs for a pitching staff that's not asking for a ton of run support.
Yeah, I was going to mention Bryce Terang because he is having a fantastic start to the year. Is he a guy that the Brewers, feel like can play and help their team throughout this year? Is he a guy that you may see go up and down throughout?
It's certainly possible. He and their manager up there, Craig Counsell, said as much during spring training. In fact, he's talked about Ethan Small and Bryce Terang in that way. So he basically said, I'm paraphrasing, but basically said it would not be a surprise to see those guys help us this year because they are that talented and that close. Terang has been so consistent. He's seems like everything he's hitting is on the barrel. He had a good on-base percentage last year, and that continues this year. He's very disciplined and a smart, patient hitter for being just 22 years old, and he won't turn 23 until November. So you talk about young with Small, and Ethan is 25. Terang is only 22. Both of those guys just play beyond their years in certain ways. And, from a roster standpoint, Bryce is not yet on the 40-man roster. That certainly plays a role in call-up opportunities. But when the time comes, if the Brewers feel like Terang can be their guy in whatever capacity, it would not be a shock at all to see him go up, and it wouldn't be a shock to see him go up and do well. They're getting tremendous production right now from Willy Adames. He's their everyday shortstop up there. Terang is a shortstop, and the Brewers feel strongly that he can hang at that position long-term. So at some point, we'll find out more of what that might look like if Terang continues to knock on the door as he is. But, yeah, to answer your question, he absolutely is a guy that can contribute this year if he were needed in Milwaukee.
It's always interesting because you don't want to start those guys' clocks too soon. And obviously fans of the Braves know the longevity of time that we've seen Drew Waters stay in Gwinnett, and then how long Christian Pache was down there before they brought him up and that sort of thing. So when you're getting good numbers out of your current shortstop, there's no need to start clocks too soon, I guess. But
yeah, and I think the other factor becomes, if it's a guy that you really see as a long-term piece, you want most of the time anyway, you're going to want that guy to be able to play a good amount when he comes up. In other words, they might feel if there's some sort of need at some point anywhere on the infield this year for the Brewers, but they feel it's a short-term need and it's not necessarily at shortstop where Bryce plays the majority of his time, they might feel, okay, you're better off staying at AAA. Of course, the player wants to go to the big leagues, but they might think, okay,
sure,
you're better off staying at AAA, playing every day. This is a short-term need where we need somebody who can play a little third, a little second, a little outfield. That's sort of what Pablo Reyes is for them right now while he's here. So it depends on the circumstance, not just is there a need on the roster up there, but what does that look like? What position does it entail? And how much potential playing time is involved when you've got a guy like Terang who wouldn't just be a fill-in. They see him in some ways as a long-term option for them in that lineup up there.
Jeff Him, the voice of the Nashville Sounds, tonight at First Horizon Park. I've asked you this every Friday. Is this finally the Friday that we get fireworks?
The answer's still no. You're gonna have to wait, Chris. We're gonna make you wait a little bit. It's coming.
Well,
it's coming.
It says but all of the Fridays say that on the schedule. So
they do.
Like if you go to the website and you click on the little, Fox News, Fox 17 News Friday, and I read the description, it says that the fireworks are going to light up the sky. So that's why I have to ask everyone because I don't know when they're coming.
Chris, let me add to that. It says on select Fridays you can watch the Nashville sky light up with a post-game Fox 17 Friday night fireworks show.
So I just don't know when it's coming. So that's why I have to ask you because, look, this is up to the minute updates here. We will know. You can find out here first whether or not there will be fireworks tonight, but we appreciate it. And I hope that you will enjoy your trip to the beach next week because I know that that's what you'll be doing and not worried about baseball while you're in Jacksonville next week.
Absolutely. I'm going to go on a dolphin tour. I'm going to go on a boat and look for dolphins and whales. And what else would I do in Florida? Maybe, 36 holes of golf every day.
Yeah.
What else could I spend my time doing in Jacksonville? Probably some lovely thing. Maybe checking out Jaguars mini camp.
Ooh. I don't know.
I like the first two options I mentioned. I don't know about the last
I don't know about
one.
all that. I'll tell you, with Mo being this is, he's still out. He's still out cruising USA apparently, or the Gulf. So at least we are doing our jobs. I mean, Mo just skipped out on us, Jeff.
Man, those Hall of Famers, they just they're on their own. They're on their own plans sometimes.
That's right. Hey, Jeff, before we let you go, I know we may be a couple of minutes, but we have freedom of time on this particular program. So you had some intriguing thoughts about the learning of our Chris Yao as a wedding DJ. Do you have any questions?
I got a gig this weekend.
He had some technical issues right in the middle of that interview, and I don't think you got to ask him some things that you really wanted to know about this, Jeff.
Yeah, I think I'm trying to remember where we left off and where we lost Chris at that point last week. I think it's fascinating the balance between what couples want in their music, what they don't want, the freedom that Chris may or may not get in what he might want to play for them versus what they think they want played. Communication is key with your wedding DJ. We had good communication in our experience with ours 14 years ago. And Chris, being a great communicator in the broadcast world, I'm sure he knows exactly what his wedding couple is looking for this weekend.
It's funny. So I have a derby party this weekend. So luckily it's just, play whatever.
Okay.
But
are you DJing that derby party?
I am, in fact, DJing the derby party. So I spent 45 minutes on the phone with a couple for next Sunday, and they said, listen, we don't want any old music. And I was like, define old.
Yeah, right.
Because that can be a lot of things. So they said, oh, well, like our parents' generation. Well, how old are you?
Yeah.
You're 22 and 24. Oh,
wow.
Okay. So I'm going to need you to give me an example. And they were like, ain't no mountain high enough. And I was like, okay, that's 60s. Like, stay away from the 60s. He was like, but you can play September by Earth, Wind, and Fire. And I was like, okay. So I'll
see.
Just
the problem is, if you're
stuff.
taking the '60s out, you are taking out some outstanding. I don't care how old you are taking out some outstanding music.
It's apparently we're going to stick with the new stuff. And although they did like the idea of the cocktail hour being like the crooners. So we'll have some stuff during the cocktail hour. But they were like, we're not going to be there for that, so we don't care. I was like, okay.
I see. Let the other people deal with that.
Yeah. So it is unique getting a chance to talk to somebody and find out what do you like. Give me 5 songs that you absolutely have to have played. Yeah. And I can build a playlist off of those 5 songs.
Yeah. I like it. I think that's
it works
smart.
Out, man.
That 5 will tell you a lot.
Mm-hmm. That's
true.
True.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Especially if you get 5 from or 5 from each, the bride and groom, because that does happen sometimes. Because sometimes one likes rock and the other likes country or whatever.
Yeah.
So and then typically the girls want to have the shaking music, the booty shaking music. So you got to make sure that you got enough of that. And it's ridiculous.
And no old people music.
And no old people music apparently. But at least JP, they said old was Ain't No Mountain High enough. Had they said something from the 90s, I probably would have been a little angry. But we're good. We're good.
None of that old stuff like Justin Timberlake or something.
No. Yeah, right.
Taylor Swift. Yeah, none of that stuff.
Wait a minute. Jeff, appreciate it, man. As always, we look forward to talking to you again.
See you guys. Have a great weekend.
Later.
Yes, sir. All right. Man, we just blew through that segment. That was fun.
Yeah, I knew it would take us a little longer, but
it
was a conversation that we didn't quite get to complete last Friday, and I wanted him to be able to quiz you on some thoughts before we got out here.
Well, it was fun. We'll just ixnay halftime and talk about the Braves on the other side. So we'll stick with baseball here on Main Street Sports today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. And we will be back after I put my helmet on for the Nashville Sounds. I'm going to run the bases with us tonight.
Good luck.
See y'all. We'll be back after this. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50-plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, ZionEagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's ZionEagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
A game without a crowd is just a scrimmage. A performance without an audience is just a rehearsal. Without your presence, high school sports and the performing arts aren't possible. Ensure that these essential extracurricular activities continue to enrich the lives of students in Tennessee. Purchase a ticket to your local high school's game or performance.
This message presented by the TSSAA.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Murray County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
Hi, this is Casey Patrick with the Dixon Post and the Cheatham County Exchange. We've actually got some soccer coming up this week. We've got some senior night sports for both counties. We've also got some district softball and baseball stuff that we're going to talk about in the upcoming paper. We've also got a great feature story coming up about the Dixon football program, working with some Air Force special operations members. And we've got a special story coming up in Sycamore for a certain baseball player that is pretty good with a guitar. So y'all stay tuned.
Welcome back in Main Street Sports today, presented by Mid Tennessee Bone and Joint. Chris Yow and JP Plant coming to you from Columbia and the Berg.
We got some rain about an hour and a half ago. Serious batten down the hatches rain and wind, by the way. We got it here kind of like yesterday where it rained for like 5 minutes really hard and then not again. Same thing. It rained really hard here for about 10 minutes and then nothing. So I'm hoping that it's gone. It looks like if you are planning to go to the Sounds game tonight, I'm no meteorologist, but I can read an iPhone app. And it says the rain should be gone by 6. Holiday Inn Express last night? Maybe?
I did stay at a Holiday Inn Express last night. So there you go. Rain should be gone by 6. So get out there and
there you go.
Enjoy you some baseball.
That's plenty of time to get an extra hot dog and a hamburger in before the game.
Yeah, I mean,
at your location tonight.
JP scrolling through social media as I'm wont to do.
You are wont to do that.
A now deleted post on iHeart Columbia on Facebook, but it's still here because I can see it. It's just you can't comment on it because I haven't refreshed my screen.
I got you.
Sunbelt Rentals. Lady comes in to do some business for one of her customers, and her 4-year-old's with her. Well, her 4-year-old needed to go to the bathroom.
Yeah, that happens.
And they're like, no public restrooms. And she's like, listen, I understand the sign as an adult. Like, I get it.
Yeah.
But she doesn't. She's 4.
Uh-huh.
What are you doing? If you're a business out there and you don't have a public restroom, but you won't let a kid use it when they've got to go, well, you deserve exactly what happened. And she just decided to make sure to do it in the parking lot.
She made her own restroom. Parking lot.
No, she made the restroom in public.
There you go.
No public restroom. Well, here's your public restroom.
Okay, I got a public restroom for you.
Exactly.
Oh, man. Fantastic.
Good for you.
Fantastic. Yeah.
Lady.
Uh-huh.
I'm sorry that you deleted that post because it should have stayed. There was no reason for it not to be there.
Yeah. I mean, you can't take everything so literally.
Right.
Whether it's your rule or not.
You know what? It reminds me of a tweet that I made just this morning, and CBS Sports radio host and writer Barrett Salee, he commented on it, and he was like, this seems to be kind of normal these days. And what I said was that, daycare rules without nuance don't make sense. And he said,
a lot of things without nuance, really don't make a lot of sense.
And these days, you could take nuance out of the dictionary and nobody would know the difference.
Yeah.
I'm serious. I mean, there's none in any aspect of our lives these days. It feels like there is zero nuance. Everything is black and white. Nothing is gray.
Yeah.
And it's very unfortunate.
Yeah.
I did not mean to get off on that, but it's, I mean, it's serious. We had to keep Charlie home from daycare today because they took her underarm temperature yesterday and it was 101 degrees. Well, we took her temperature when we got home and it was under 100 degrees, but she couldn't go to daycare today because their temperature said 101.
Did they take a second one?
I don't know if they did or not, but Sarah went and got her yesterday. And
they stopped by the station yesterday towards the end of the show, and if she was not feeling well, she was feeling fine when she got to the station. But that could be because she got to see her daddy.
Well, she never stopped. She never stopped playing though. It's like, come on now,
it's frustrating.
Let's be real here. If she had a fever an hour ago, she's probably got a fever now because we didn't give her any medicine. You didn't give her any medicine.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe your temperature was just off. Maybe she was hot from running around playing.
From playing.
Who knows?
Feeling good and playing. Yeah, that could happen.
And when you do an underarm temperature, that can happen. I mean, I get it.
I haven't heard of that, but I don't have kids, so I didn't realize that was.
Well, that's the standard apparently.
Really? Yeah, I guess they don't want to stick anything in the mouth now, right?
Right.
Or any other places. So.
Exactly. Again, didn't mean to get off on that, but the Atlanta Braves do host the Milwaukee Brewers tonight. Milwaukee 18-8 coming in.
Yeah, no real
8-4.
transition there. Yeah.
Nope. 8-4 on the road. Talking about sticking something up.
No.
And the Braves 12-15, losing another half game last night as the New York Metropolitans and their 6-run ninth to beat Philadelphia.
Yeah.
That was unfortunate.
That hurts.
But it's okay. Just take care of your business. Don't worry about them.
That's right.
And Eric Lauer, I assume that's Lauer like Matt, taking on Jesse Chavez.
Really? Wow. Okay.
I assume
you know
it's
who
not
that is,
Lauer.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't really know who else to go there. He's got a 1.93 ERA and less than 1 walks and hits per innings pitched. So this guy doesn't give up walks. He's walked 5 people on the year and only given up 18 hits in 23 and a third innings. He does not walk. You better get up there and swing the darn bat. 34 strikeouts. That's right. 34 strikeouts for Lauer on the year. And, young guy, just 27 years old. I say young. I mean, Ethan Small's 25, but he's only been in the minor leagues for 3 years. So, and then you've got Corbin Burns tomorrow that you have to deal with. You're throwing a long relief pitcher against Eric Lauer. Then you've got Max Fried going up against Corbin Burns on Saturday before Charlie Morton and former Nashville Sound star Aaron Ashby. So, Ashby will.
I was just going to say, as these game times and pitchers and ERA and records and all the numbers that you have painstakingly done a fine job of putting those in there. As they roll across the bottom of the screen looking at those, the Milwaukee pitchers, Lauer 2-0, 1.93 ERA. Burns 1-1, 1.93 ERA. Now, Sunday's pitcher, Ashby, 0-2, but still a 2.33 ERA.
He walks a lot of people. So he gives up a lot of walks. But they don't often come in to score.
Yeah. So point being is that it appears, at least so far, pretty stout pitching staff for the Brew Crew.
Oh yeah. That's exactly what they've done that's how they've gotten to be as successful as they have been. I mean, obviously Atlanta had to beat them in Game 5 last year on that Freddie Freeman home run against Josh Hader. If the Braves had not won that series, I think the Brewers would have gone to the World Series.
Yeah.
This is a really good team. This is a team that can absolutely challenge the Dodgers for the National League pennant, and a team that I'm not looking forward to coming into Truist Park for 3 games because they're really, really good. So should be a great series. Obviously, with Max Fried on the bump, you feel good at least about 1 game, and then you hope Charlie Morton can figure it out. And after that, it's Boston at home on TBS, by the way. So that should be fun. And but yeah, Braves, what do they need to do? Hit the baseball.
Hit the baseball.
Good luck, though, because like you said, the Brew Crew's got a heck of a staff. So let's take a quick break.
What happened today in Braves history?
Oh, that's right. What did happen today in Braves history? Why don't we go back to 1951, where Cliff Chambers becomes the first southpaw in franchise history to throw a no-hitter when he beats Boston 3-0. The nightcap of a doubleheader, by the way. 29-year-old left-hander also. Apparently this was Pittsburgh. Very confused. The first Buck hurler to accomplish the feat on the road. So yeah, apparently it was a Pittsburgh Cliff Chambers. Who knew? Not much good happened today in Braves history. That was
it happened today, so
it happened today, and it was against the Braves.
Okay.
Well, it was against the Braves.
Against the Braves. Okay.
Yeah, so not good.
Yeah.
I wonder if they won the first game at least.
Beat the Boston Braves.
Yes. I wonder if they won the first game at least. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right, let's take a break. We'll talk about the Predators and the Grizzlies after this on Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. When you're a Hall of Famer, you get to do stuff like that, and you'll get to learn about that here soon.
Yeah, well,
now that you have been a
hold on a second. Wait a minute. What did you just hit?
All right, so George, we do a little post show video, couple of minutes that we call the Daily Dingers. So the most ding-worthy moments of the day.
Had fried bologna sandwich, a grilled bologna and cheese, even. So he's outnumbered, George.
Food fight? I mean, what happens?
I will tell you, my wife is always correct. No matter what, she's always right. She'll tell you that.
Do you realize how weird this is? This is the first time anybody's asked me a question in 30 years.
It's weird because you're usually in my seat.
I'm usually in that seat.
It's weird.
Badgering somebody on this side.
Hope you enjoyed it, George.
Thank you.
Maybe the last time.
Okay.
You're getting back into the business. Yeah.
Seeing you as well. Kyle Wright's been great so far. I never dreamed I would ever say that.
How about it?
Yeah. It's about damn time. I mean, just to be perfectly honest.
Expectation.
Yeah. I mean, it's about time. If all goes well, July 11th.
July
Monday.
11th. So he's going to take July 4th and shoot off all the fireworks.
Mm-hmm.
And then bring those fireworks to the...
Come in loaded for bear.
That's right. It's a convoy of sports talk headed your way.
Bring it on. By the way, is it me or is it sunny out there?
Sun has popped back out right after the rain.
In the world.
There might be a rainbow out there.
Hey man,
yeah.
It's Columbia. What are you going to expect? You expect the unexpected here in Columbia.
Is the rainbow blue and yellow?
George, thanks for taking some time with us, man. It was a fun show.
Enjoyed it.
Even if you did hijack it and
ruined it.
That was a fun one yesterday with the soon-to-be Hall of Famer, George Plaster, Hall of Famer in our minds.
And waiting.
Future official colleague as well. So check that out. Always, you can go to MainStreetSportsToday.com for podcast and videos of past shows. Hey, we made it to the second half, and coming up, we'll talk a little Predators. Tough one last night in overtime in Colorado, but they played valiantly, as did the man between the pipes, Connor Ingram. Also, the Memphis Grizzlies are heading west, taking on the Warriors Game 3, I believe Saturday night on ABC, and that series tied at 1 game apiece. So we tip it off, if you will, drop that puck, second half action. That doesn't really apply to the hockey, but you get the drift. Welcome back into Main Street Sports Today. JP filling in, at least in this capacity, for the Hall of Famer, who will be back on Monday following his vacation. And the Sundrop Kid from Alabama, who is geeked out in sounds today, is he'll be at First Horizon later this evening. I know you're looking forward to that.
I really am. That's why I hope this rain holds off, because it's going to be I always enjoy going to the ballpark. There's not many things better than an evening, an afternoon and evening at the ballpark. No question.
Here.
So I definitely want to talk about the Predators, but for some reason, everything is just going crazy today. Get an email from one of my brides that I'm DJing her wedding.
Yes, I'm glad you made that second statement.
Yes.
Yeah. One of your brides.
Yeah.
Pause. That was really a comma, because it was the same sentence.
Yes. Ignore the reception call-out order for our introduction on the original document.
Okay.
Our best man has bailed.
Oh, no.
This is a week away. Like, it's the 20th, so it's 2 weeks away.
Man.
Or 21st.
Mm.
Come on now.
You know, I'm curious, Chris, if I'm the bride, the groom's choice in people. If you choose a best man for somebody that bails a week before the wedding, what does that say about
Best
his choice
man,
in you?
not just
what
like
does
a
that say about
regular
his choice in you?
Not even just a regular
I know,
groomsman, but your
insane.
best man. Like, what happened? This is not enough information.
Wow.
I need a story. I need to know why he's not there.
So are they just going to, I guess, next man up, just going to fill that?
That's exactly what they've done. They just push him down one and add one
typically,
more.
right, when you've got, say, you've got 6 groomsmen and bridesmaids, I mean, you typically have an order. It's not always just by height, right?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I mean, typically you got an order, so.
My youngest brother told me, he said, I'll be in your wedding, but I have to be able to stand by you. I was like, okay. Whatever, dude. But yeah, so I wonder, like, how do you feel if you're the guy they asked to like fill in? Hey, I know we didn't ask you in the first place, but do you mind getting a tux? Oh, by the way, the wedding's in 2 weeks.
Well, they should probably already have a tux, right?
Well, if
they're in the wedding. Well, are
no,
they not?
No, they've added another person to the bridal party in order to fill out the correct numbers.
Oh, I see what you're saying. The person on the end.
Yeah, the person who's on the end.
Who's now part of the wedding party because everybody else has moved up in front of them. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? Hey, think of it that way. Hey, we need bench players. We need alternates.
That's what I was saying.
He was an alternate.
He was a 6th man off the bench, coming in clutch for the win.
You know, planning for weddings are difficult enough. That would just be miserable. Now, I look back to my wedding, and it was a destination, so we had a group of people, members of the wedding party, also friends who would have technically been alternates, I guess. Put those in air quotes for those not watching, maybe listening on the podcast. But so for us, it would not have been that big of a deal other than, the outfit. At that point, we had gotten outfits from up here in Tennessee and driven them down to Florida. So that would have been difficult to make that happen. But we would have had plenty of people that could have easily stepped in for that part. Right? I mean, you got ushers, right? Maybe it was an usher.
Maybe
you move one of those ushers up.
That's possible.
But then you got to move somebody into that usher, right?
Yeah. You still got to replace somebody somewhere.
What a nightmare!
No doubt, especially 2 weeks away.
I love how they put that for you too. Disregard the lineup when you calling them out at the reception.
We've got a new one. Got it. JP, I wanted to play Connor Ingram's.
Yeah, you did want to play that, but I'm having some
presser
issues.
last night, and that's fine.
My
but
apologies.
If you did not see Connor Ingram's,
I might be able to at
performance
least play
last
the
night.
audio. Keep talking. I might be able to get the audio for you.
If you can get the audio, that's fine. But if you didn't see the performance last night from Connor Ingram, it just an absolute maniac. Dude was all over the ice, 40-plus saves, overtime, and did everything he could possibly do to get his team a win.
He really did. It was impressive watching that. And I got to thinking, hockey is one of those sports where this is not completely out of the question, right? Where you could have somebody who comes in and, the proverbial standing on their head reference for a goaltender just gets hot. And you can ride a hot goalie a long way in the playoffs. And so it was interesting to see that last night and really good to see it. I think, and because of everything else the goalies have been going through for the Predators. I guess good news yesterday, Chris, you had mentioned that there was a report that UC Saros was actually skating. So that is a very, very good sign. But
well, that's my question is, if you're down 2-0, does it make sense to try and rush him back, especially with how well Connor Ingram played last night? I mean, there's enough time between these games that he can play every game of this series.
Yeah, that was a big thing. I have it, by the way. If you're ready, we can play that audio from.
Let's hear what he had to
from
say,
last
because
night.
I really want to play this.
I don't think it really matters individually at this point. I mean, it's a playoff series, so if you don't come out with wins, it doesn't really add up to much, and that's the beauty of playoffs. For game one, it was 7-2. Today it's 2-1. Tomorrow or Saturday will be a brand new day again. I think that's the beauty of it, and you got to pack this one away and move on to the next.
So ask like two things. One, when you were told you had to start, how did you feel? And then two, like McKinnon scores on the first shot against you, and I think you made 40-something straight saves. Just how did you reset after that goal?
I mean, I don't think it matters if that's the first shot or the 45th shot. You made a nice play, changed the angle a lot before you let it go. It's a nice shot by him, and I think that's part of maturing with age, is just being able to move on and kind of reset and go from there. It's definitely not the way you want to start, but it happens.
Kind of yesterday, you and I talked about how you might feel going out there, and you kind of said it's just, it's the same game with just a bigger crowd and a louder crowd. Was it what you kind of expected when you went out there? Did you feel how you expected to feel, or was it any different?
I mean, next in World Juniors in Canada, I think the Stanley Cup playoffs is as big as it gets. This is what you want to play in. This is what you dream about as a kid. So to get the chance to do it and play in front of a crowd like that, it's what you dream about. So it's a lot of fun, and it's a good experience.
And I think your parents were here, is that correct?
Yeah, they drove down.
They showed your mom on TV. I think she's going to send them a picture on it.
Is she still alive?
What's that?
Is she still alive?
I haven't heard that. I haven't heard otherwise.
Good. I don't think they even watch when they're at home, so that was probably a roller coaster for them.
That's what I love. Is that they don't even watch when they're at home, but
Yeah.
So, he gives up the first save, first goal on the first shot, and I'm like, oh, that's efficient. Here we go again. And then 40 something straight. Dude played outside of his mind, and you gotta give him so much credit. So well done, Connor Ingram. This team and this series probably over. Look,
you think so?
I absolutely think that the
You are
Colorado
negative,
Avalanche are
Nancy.
going to win.
Yeah.
They're going to win this series. Now, I'm not saying that they're going to that the Preds are going to get swept. What I'm saying is it's most likely that Colorado is going to win this series. Now, stat of the day for George Plaster: Nashville Predators when facing an 0-2 and coming home 6-0 in the playoffs.
Okay. And it's the old adage that a postseason, when you're looking at, well, really, I guess any of the postseason professional sports that have series like baseball, hockey, and basketball, it's not a series until somebody wins on the road, right?
It's
typically,
yeah.
I mean, everything goes as planned, and so far, that has been the case. I think you have to take a step back and look at it from this perspective, and it was good to hear, I think his frame of mind for that spot was really impressive. Not only what we saw on the ice, but then hearing that afterwards, and I like that moving forward. But going into the playoffs, the injury to UC Saros, and it felt like everybody was looking at, okay, well, nobody expected him to be here, so we're kind of dealing with house money. Okay, blah blah blah. Great. Okay. 7-2.
Except George. George
Yeah.
was pretty mad about it.
Yeah, he was. But I'm just talking about in general, what the vibe that I'm getting from a lot of people.
Most people.
Yeah, 7-2. You lose the Avalanche. Avalanche, heavy favorites in this one. Okay, all right. Well, yeah, that fits into that narrative. And you got Connor Ingram coming in, who, for the most part, played fairly well once he came onto the ice midway through that first period to replace Riddick in game one, and just did a phenomenal job. The fact that the Avs nearly outshot the Preds by twice as many attempts on net, that's not his fault.
That's right.
And he was
because
going
again
above and beyond. I thought.
Matter of fact, I want to read this tweet because I'm not. I think I liked it. I'm not sure if I retweeted it, but yeah. Last night's game recap. Save Ingram. Preds have the puck. Preds enter the neutral zone. They dump it in deep and go for the line change. Avs with the puck. Avs are through the neutral zone with numbers. It's 2-on-1. Save Ingram and repeat for 60 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like that's it's
there was I
48.
think what was the number?
48 saves last night.
Yeah.
48.
And how many shots on goal did the Preds get? In the mid-20s, maybe? Did they get up to 30?
Yeah, it was probably 24, maybe. There's no way they got up to 30.
And I think the point in that game last night where the Preds had the opportunity and I think lost it.
The 5-on-3.
The 5-on-3. And they had a couple of really good looks and just didn't make the play. Simply did not make the play. And I think, by not scoring then, I think it was inevitable. And the only way I think the Preds could have won that is if we talked about it yesterday, if they got a lucky bounce or a lucky
26 shots on goal
for the Preds,
but only 4 penalties, which is huge. I think that's where you have to really. That's the most important thing. 4 penalties. Stay out of the box, and you've got a shot. They blocked 34 shots.
Yeah. So you think about all the shots that could have gone on goal. So where is the issue then? It's obviously in the middle of the ice, right? It's the puck possession,
defense,
and
because
they're blocking.
Well, they only had 3 giveaways last night.
Yeah, they're blocking shots.
Yeah, but
they're
I'm
not
saying,
possessing the puck long
right,
enough.
that's what I'm saying. And then they have to get back on defense, which is not easy to do. Handling the puck has been their issue for the last 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why they play dump and chase hockey.
Yeah.
Because they don't have anybody who can they have to hope for misdirection and one-timers in order to score, because they have nobody on the team outside of Matt Duchene and Philip Forsberg are scorers.
Yeah.
They have no scorers. One team who does have scorers, JP, the Memphis Grizzlies.
Two teams.
Let's talk about
man.
Let's talk about them and their series, because their series is a series because theirs had a road winner.
That's true.
In game 1. So they go to the Bay Area tied. What do they need to do? Is a split good enough? Do they have to sweep? We'll talk about it on the other side of the break. Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint, is back after this.
We've all heard the saying that a little can go a long way. This is especially true during the Big Payback's 24-hour online giving event, helping support hundreds of local nonprofit organizations. From 6 p.m. on May 4th through 6 p.m. May 5th, a gift of as little as $10 could be boosted by cash prizes and help to make a big difference in the life-changing work of local nonprofits. Learn more at thebigpayback.org.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck yes, that'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in Tennessee, because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
JP, this situation with the Lauderdale County Sheriff, they released a photo of the Ford Edge that was found in southern Middle Tennessee.
Yep.
And the getaway car. And apparently they tried to spray paint it like green, but they only did like the right rear quarter panel. This is hilarious. This is the funniest thing I've ever seen. They're like, yeah, this ain't gonna work. Oh man, this is remarkable.
Best laid plans, Chris.
Clearly.
I wonder the idea of thinking that you might have the time to spray paint a car when you're on the run from a national manhunt.
Yeah,
I mean,
and you're 2 hours away from where you left.
You're just up the road.
It's not like they were.
How many days ago was this? Like 4 days, 3 days, 5 days, a week?
No, they said that the car could have been there about a week.
Okay,
so,
gotcha.
But she withdrew $90,000 from the bank. So I don't know. I don't know if she used a bunch of that to buy another car.
Yeah, she
sold her house, but apparently she was a frugal and great saver. So they're thinking that she probably had more
where that came from.
Cash, yeah, a lot more cash on hand before she even took the $90,000 out of the bank.
So she'd been saving for a rainy day.
Well, she's gotten 5 of them in a row here.
Oh,
anyway.
she's about to go right into a hurricane if that's the case. Saving for a rainy day,
no doubt.
Man,
so I'm not sure how much money they got, and I don't know where they're at. But I can tell you this: if they went north, it wasn't smart. I would have just went. I mean, I would have found me a boat in the swamp of
Fast
Louisiana.
Boat to China, come on.
I'd have took me a
Jimmy Buffett.
Yeah,
sorry.
Right down to Guadalajara or some beach in Mexico, and I'd be sipping on an umbrella drink and hoping they don't catch me.
Yeah, going north doesn't seem like a fun thing to do.
But here's the thing. It's a lot easier to go 2 hours north and then go back south to make people think you went north.
That's true.
Yeah. You got to think like a criminal. Or think like a cop.
Yeah.
And that's what she's doing. She's thinking like a cop, right?
So, yeah, I mean, that would make sense that, heading south ultimately would have been their destination. Little decoy, the attempt at the spray painting.
Oh, yeah. I don't think either of these people are dummies.
Well, you got to have a little bit of brains to pull something
to do
like
what they did.
off. Yeah, I mean,
that's right.
You got to have a little forethought, and you got to think through a couple of hurdles and a couple of what ifs then scenarios that you like to play from time to time.
That's right. So if they're heading south, good for them.
Yeah.
The Memphis Grizzlies are heading west.
Yes, they are. Go west.
Headed out to San Fran, to the Golden State to take on the Warriors. Now, JP, like I asked on the other side of the break, does Memphis need to sweep out there, or they just need to split, get that game back?
No, I think a split that gets you back home court advantage. Per the layout of this particular series, with the Grizzlies as the 2 seed and Golden State as the 3. Now, I think a split will be fine. They shouldn't feel any pressure. Both games have been really competitive in terms of the points differential, and really went down to the wire. And who was able to execute at the end, and that's ultimately, I think every game is probably going to come down to that. I don't see any of these games really. I mean, you could always have one fluke blowout game, but I don't see that happening. I tell you, having worked in the NBA for nearly a decade, traveling around with teams and being a part of it, I had lost my fandom, so to speak, of the NBA, because working in it, you kind of push all that aside. And I have not been more excited about an NBA series than I have with this one in a long, long time. And maybe, well, not since, the 90s Bulls of a team that I followed as a kid growing up, and, Will Purdue, Vanderbilt guy got to there, and Jordan, and, who didn't like Jordan? And then, of course, the 80s Celtics Lakers. But I haven't been as excited about a series as this one in a long, long time. And it is a fun series to watch.
Here's the thing. This is the bad part. If you are a fan of basketball, this is the best series of the playoffs.
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
I don't think the conference finals of either side or the finals will be as exciting to watch.
Although the winner of this one in
series.
Phoenix will be a good one too.
But
not
Phoenix
quite
is
as
a
good.
different team.
It is a different team,
Phoenix
but
is a
you're
different
right.
style.
Mhm.
Whereas these two are just athletic guys playing. They look like they're out there, just having a good time and playing really good basketball. Whereas Phoenix, they really try to kind of old school the game up a little.
Yeah.
And so that's what's made this one so fun, is just like you're watching two teams who are like, I'm better than you and I'm going to prove it.
Yeah.
There's not a whole lot of scheming going on, which is, it's a lot of fun to watch. So,
yeah, it really is. And fairly evenly matched teams. So, it's to your original question, what do the Grizzlies have to do? I think a split, and I think they're sitting pretty. Even if they don't win both, I mean, you go down 3-1, that's tough. It's hard to come back. You got to get one of these. You got to get at least one of these.
I mean, even if they go down
3-1,
3-1, they can get back to 3-2 at home and then go back out there. But you remember, and again, like you said, two different teams last year.
Mm-hmm.
But the stars of those two teams were the ones who were not there. A lot of folks on both of those teams are still there and feel like if you're if you play for Memphis, you feel like, hey, we've went out here, we've won ball games before, we can do it again.
Yeah.
So you have to have a little bit of confidence deep on that bench, although you don't have Dylan Brooks, who has been suspended for game 3. How big of a factor does that play into this one?
On paper, you think probably more than I think it will. We saw Draymond Green, and when he went out, you thought, okay, I mean, because he's the linchpin of that Golden State team, both offensively and defensively. I don't think it's going to be as big of a deal as it may look on paper. I think they'll be fine, because ultimately it's going to come down, can Ja Morant get where he needs to get on the court late in the game? Can the other guys hit a couple of threes to even it out? And as long as they, the rebounding, that's a hustle thing. I mean, we all know that, and that's just a want to for the most part. And as long as they maintain some level of that, I think they'll be fine. And then again, it's just who executes. The crowd obviously will be, I think, a factor, because I think these players and their style really feeds off the energy of these crowds on both sides.
Mm-hmm.
Memphis with what they do and what Ja does, and then of course we've all seen with Steph Curry and Klay Thompson, and now Jordan Poole in the mix with the 3-guard lineup, and then of course Draymond. I mean, they feed off the crowd, and Golden State's their new building in San Francisco is a different element than what it is in Oakland. That's going to be a hard task to follow, but it's going to be fun to watch. I can't wait. Even my little mini Dotson, Lucy, you may have heard in the back, she's excited. I mean, she can't wait until tomorrow night.
It's going to be a great
That's
one.
what she's
and
barking
absolutely
about,
is.
I'm sure in there. So.
There's a lot of stuff going on tomorrow. Let's talk about it. On the other side of the break, we will talk about what's going on this weekend, what we've got, what we're looking forward to, and we're going to have a special guest on the other side of the break. So stick around. And
are we calling, or is he going to join us? Video? Have you seen?
No, I think we're just going to give him a call.
Give him a call,
and
we'll give him a call.
When we come back, we'll tell you who to bet on in the Kentucky Derby.
Hello.
Stick around. Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint, is back after this. Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50-plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, ZionEagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's ZionEagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
A game without a crowd is just a scrimmage. A performance without an audience is just a rehearsal. Without your presence, high school sports and the performing arts aren't possible. Ensure that these essential extracurricular activities continue to enrich the lives of students in Tennessee. Purchase a ticket to your local high school's game or performance.
This message presented by the TSSAA.
Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Murray County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
Welcome back to another Montgomery County Sports Roundup. I'm Brady McAtabney, and here's what's been going on in the area. It's postseason time. Clarksville Academy has already been hard at work, beating NJCA and DCA in the district tournament before dropping a close one against top-ranked Goodpasture in the championship game. Up next for them is Franklin Road Academy in the region tournament opener. Rossview baseball and soccer are both the top seeds in their respective brackets, while Clarksville baseball and softball are number 2 seeds. The Wildcats will play Northeast in the first round of both the baseball and soccer tournaments, and they'll face Rossview in softball. Student athletes have been signing on to continue their careers in college. Multiple athletes from Clarksville High, Clarksville Academy, and Northwest, and one from Rossview will be playing at their next level after signing on with schools this past week. This has been your Montgomery County Sports Update. For more, visit our website, follow me on Twitter, and check out the MSB North podcast.
I am Blaine Keller with Main Street Preps, and this is your Robertson County Sports Roundup. The regular season is coming to a screeching halt in Robertson County, and all 5 schools have squads still competing for district championships. After a slow start, Greenbrier has been the hottest of all spring sports trios in the county. The Bobcats reeled off 12 straight wins in baseball, won 9 of 10 games in softball, and Greenbrier soccer is the top team in District 9-2A at 12-2-1. Other stories to watch out for in the weeks to come outside of your district tournaments: Springfield pitcher Bria's Mundy eclipsing 500 career strikeouts, and how East Robertson's brutal baseball schedule has prepped it for postseason play. For Main Street Preps, I'm Blaine Keller.
Welcome back in Main Street Sports today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Chris Yao, JP Plant. Final segment of this Friday edition. The Hall of Famer and his Braves cap, not Alabama cap. We'll be back
That's right.
on Monday.
Don't dare say Roll Tide to him.
If he comes in with that Braves cap, you know I'm going to say that.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
No, Roll Tide. You know, it's
Roll Tide.
And speaking of, we'll bring Craig. We'll bring on our special guest, Colonel Craig Duncan, is joining us now. He's going to talk about a couple of things, but one of the things that he gets angry with me about is sometimes I will say Roll Tide to things occasionally, and he's like, hey, don't say that around here because his wife's an Auburn fan and whatever. Yeah. But I'm like, listen, you have to understand, I'm not saying it because I'm a fan of Alabama. I'm saying it to make fun of Alabama fans who say Roll Tide to everything. That's the context, I guess. Does that make sense? I don't know. No, JP? Does it make sense?
Oh, yes, I am. I thought you were talking to JP.
Sorry.
My apologies.
I think he may have been.
I was, in fact, talking
I'm
to
multitasking, Craig. I'm trying to type in and get you set up. So yes, my apologies. But
anyway, Colonel Craig Duncan is the founder of Whiskey University, which is an entity focused on building knowledge of history and taste of one of Kentucky's most prized possessions, and that is bourbon. But he's also a pretty good handicapper when it comes to the Kentucky Derby, JP. And so, because the Kentucky Derby obviously is this weekend, I think we need to find out from Craig. What are you thinking, Craig?
Well, I'm going to tell you it all depends on how the pace breaks down. You're going to have a couple of horses on the front end at the beginning of the race in the first half mile. Classic Causeway and Summer is Tomorrow will come out of the gate blazing. And depending on what the rest of the jockeys decide to do early, if they don't press those two, Classic Causeway could come away with a 40-1 shot steal of the Kentucky Derby, but I'm not counting on that. And there are some stalkers that are right behind the pace setters, including the favorite Epicenter and Messier, named after, yes,
Mark?
you guessed it.
Oh, wow.
Mark Messier,
Okay.
in the hockey world, Stanley Cup winner. Those two horses, Epicenter and Messier, will press them. And if they press them early and hot, then this is going to turn into a very contentious race. But to make a long story short, the favorite is Epicenter. When you look at his past performances, he hasn't done anything wrong. And you would think you might as well put some money on him because he looks like a pretty sure shot. But unfortunately, I don't bet anything at 3-1. So I'm going to go in another direction. Right behind them in the middle of the pack are three horses by the name of Tybaugh, White Arborio, and Cyber Knight. And this Tybaugh horse has only raced in 2 races in his entire life, but he won the $1 million Santa Anita Derby 4 weeks ago, and he looks like a freak. There hasn't been a Kentucky Derby winner that has only raced in 2 races in 111 years, but this cat could be it. Tybaugh, T-A-I-B-A. He's at 12-1. He's where I'm putting half of my money. But if the pace is hot, meaning everybody starts challenging Classic Causeway and Summer is Tomorrow early, and it turns into a speed duel, it's going to set up for a closer. And the closers are called Zandon and Mo Donegal. And I like Zandon because he's very versatile, able to weave in and out of traffic. So my 2 horses tomorrow will be Zandon and Tybaugh is who I'm putting my money on.
There you go. That's all we needed to know. Who we're supposed to bet on?
There you go.
That's the question.
Okay. Zandon
Craig?
and Tybaugh. Yeah.
Now that we know what you're thinking tomorrow, what are you drinking tomorrow?
I was going to get to that next.
Oh, so just so that you know, the Kentucky Derby is a Louisville race through and through and through. And although we'll be drinking lots of things during the day, including mint juleps, black-eyed Susans, and various other bourbon drinks, when it comes to right after the race, you got to settle in on some Old Forester and Woodford Reserve.
Okay.
Because they are made from a Louisville company, Brown Forman.
That's right. Old Forester. Right up the money. That's where I'm at. I can tell you that. Craig, thank you for taking some time with us. JP, what you got?
Can I get a couple of questions, Craig?
No, you can't.
I don't want to take
kidding.
I'm curious, kind of on this whiskey thing. Your suggestion for because there are a lot of people that may only like last night drink a margarita on Cinco de Mayo. There may be a lot of people that only have a mint julep on Derby Day. What bourbon do you suggest fits the best for a non-everyday or aficionado, a novice drinker for this Saturday? What bourbon fits best with the mint julep?
Okay, so this is an easy one because first of all, you've got to go out to Sonic and get a bag of Sonic ice because shaving your own ice is labor intensive, and for $1.99, you can get a nice bag of Sonic ice to start your mint julep.
Okay,
and just in line with the Louisville thing, even though Maker's Mark makes a very nice sweet mint julep, I got to stay with the Louisville crowd and go with an Old Forester mint julep that is already pre-mixed, so you don't have to muddle your own mint leaves and crush them and put simple syrup in there and make a mix. You just literally get the Old Forester mint julep mix, pour it over Sonic ice, and then add a little soda water to it, and it is the perfect spring summer drink.
Wow. I didn't realize that there was the premix with the Old Forester, so that is good to know.
Yeah.
Can you find it locally in the Mid-State?
Yeah. Okay. You sure can. There are about 6 different companies that make a very good premix mint julep that just save you a lot of time. But absolutely, Old Forester, Maker's Mark, they can be found right here in Columbia, right in Franklin, right in Nashville. And you just have to go out, and then there's no mess or fuss ahead of time.
Chris, you notice he didn't say down here in Lawrenceburg. that's why
I'm sure you can. I'm sure you can find it somewhere.
In Lawrenceburg, you may have to shop a few places.
Yeah,
but
go fishing a bit.
A to Z.
Yeah,
I started A to Z right on Weekly Creek.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's just down the road.
You may end up with something really good.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Yep. All right.
Craig Duncan.
Parting advice.
Colonel?
Yeah, what do you got?
Parting advice. $100 exacta on Zandon and Epicenter, and a $50 win on Tie Boss, and then you'll be all set for tomorrow.
Okay.
There you go. That's exactly what I needed to know.
A full field, which is always fun to see that many horses round the track at Churchill Downs. So, yeah, it's going to be a fun day.
Yes, sir. Thank you, guys. Hope you have a good Derby game.
You got it.
Thanks, Colonel.
That is Colonel Craig Duncan, founder of Whiskey University. Find them at whiskeyuniv.com. Always a good time. All right, JP, what's your sneaky good show? I got to start it. What is it?
This just came out, I think, this week, maybe, or last week, but it's on Paramount. And it is
Paramount Network or Paramount Plus?
Paramount.
There's 2 different apps.
It may be. I think it's on the Paramount Plus.
Okay, perfect. I have Paramount Plus. I'm just making sure.
But we do too, so that's why I didn't know the answer to that. But
got both. I don't know.
It's a movie about the making of The Godfather. It's called.
It's called the
Offer.
Offer. Yes.
The Offer. And let me just kind of briefly read you some of the cast. There's some somewhat noticeable names, some that may not be as noticeable, but it's a good cast nonetheless. The guy that plays Al Ruddy, who is the producer of The Godfather, Miles Teller, you'll recognize his face and when you see him. Juno Temple, from Ted Lasso, she's in this. And then there's, of course, Dan Fogler plays Francis Ford Coppola, who directed or wrote the screenwrite, I think. And then, of course, Mario Puzo has a huge role in this, who was the author of the book, The Godfather. That it's interesting because early on, the mafia and the mob were obviously not too keen on this book as it came out and became, got on the New York Times bestseller list.
Yeah.
There's a scene in this series and I've only watched the first one, that Mario Puzo has made it out to California. He's going to try to start writing the screenplay, and he goes into a restaurant and sees Frank Sinatra, and Frank Sinatra just gives him the lip. I mean, just nearly, takes him out. How dare you, do that? Because of his adaptation and of the character of Johnny Fontaine, right? People assumed it was based off of Frank Sinatra, and Old Blue Eyes obviously apparently didn't appreciate that. So
I can't imagine why.
But it's really well done. It's got some really interesting characters because it's set in the late 60s, early 70s Hollywood, and just kind of how the business of movies and pictures and TV is made, and then the robust characters that are part of this, not only the ones that are creating it, but ultimately doing it, because it plays into how the mob reacts to this book. So there are scenes of the mob in it, including Giovanni Ribisi, who was Joe Colombo, who is kind of, I think, who the Godfather, ultimately the Colombo family was kind of where it started from. So, but it's really good. There's some comedic timing in it, really good acting, and it's entertaining because it deals with historical and real names of people that you've heard of.
I kept seeing it and I was like, do I really want to watch this? Because I didn't understand what it was, but I'm glad you've talked me into
worth
it.
going into. Absolutely.
New episode of Outer Range. So if you haven't started,
you've been watching that, and I want to get into that as well. You mentioned to me it's basically like Yellowstone and X-Files.
X-Files meet together.
Yeah.
It's
so
fantastic
it's
stuff.
That Yellowstone vibe of the West and Montana obviously is a hot thing right now.
Yeah.
And then you throw an X-Files thing. That's pretty interesting.
It's unique. So that's what we're doing this weekend. If you are heading to the ballpark, I look forward to seeing you. Come see us. We'll be on the Vanderbilt Health Porch next to the bandbox. I'm sure you will check us out at the bandbox at some point. But we appreciate you guys hanging out this week. George Plaster, thank you.
Yeah, that was fun yesterday.
To all of our fantastic guests, we'll have Mo back on Monday. So if you've been waiting for that, wait no more. That's going to do it. Come back on Tuesday. At 2:00 on Monday. That's
Ladies
right.
and gentlemen,
2
Chris
o'clock
Yao.
Monday.
Chris Yao, what is it?
Ladies and gentlemen, the weekend.